I'm Marky Enriquez, the Digital and Interactive Media Manager at CAAM. Welcome to CAAMFest FORWARD. I'm so happy to be here with you all today. You just watched The Girl Who Left Home, directed by Mallorie Ortega, her feature directorial debut. And the film is a whimsical musical about a young woman on the brink of Hollywood stardom, but is pulled back into her past and family obligations. This film is eligible for our Audience Award, so to vote, please click on the link above your video player. Winners will be announced right after the festival. All right, now, I'm so happy to have the filmmakers and cast here in attendance for the Q&A. We have the producer, writer, director, and lyricist, Mallorie Ortega. We also have Haven Everly, who plays Christine Santos. We have the producer, Emy Coligado, who plays Mary Santos. And we also have the producer, Angelo Santos, who plays Reggie. Welcome, everyone. How's it going?
Hello.
Thank you. Hi. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for being here today. It's super exciting to have you here. First, let's start with Mallorie. Mallorie, congratulations on the film. You know, this is your directorial debut. It was a beautiful musical. And, you know, being a Filipino American myself, it really resonated with me. Can you tell us how this project came about?
Absolutely. I actually went to USC for film school, and it was like my last year for my master's, and I learned a lot about questioning yourself and how you how you were influenced by your parents and how that affects you today. And somehow in my brain, I was like, oh, you know what? I wonder what it would be like if I took my mom out to the bar, like what would that be like if I took her to like a speakeasy? She thinks I'm going to take her to some type of like torture dungeon in the middle of the alleyway, but then you're in this gorgeous bar, and that's kind of where this script started, was imagining what it would be like to introduce my mom to the American culture rather than me being immersed in the Filipino culture. And I wrote the karaoke scene first in the script, and it just flourished from there. What would it be like if I threw my mom in a car with a stranger and it was a ride share? She'd be freaking out. And it actually happened later that year, and everything that I thought was going to happen did happen. She was so nervous. She's like, I can't believe you did that to me. I was like, I could see where you are. You could, so after I wrote that scene, it was really like, okay, well, what can I do to make these characters more alive? And so that's when I started writing more scenes and just connecting the dots. And because it was a karaoke scene, of course, it had to be a musical, and I had to keep writing more songs. So it just stems from that one thought. What would it be like if I brought my mom to a bar?
That's amazing. So that I just love how the film was more than just a musical, and it was about a film about food. It was a film about American life, Filipino American life. I mean, I think a lot of Filipino Americans could relate to this film. The relationship between Christine and her mom just seems so familiar, and just being torn between family and pursuing your dreams. So was this film based off of various events in your life?
I would say so. Absolutely. The characters and situations are definitely inspired by my family, but also family friends. And again, it's just a lot about the what ifs. What if my parents had passed away? Like, what would that look like for me? And my parents, they did have a restaurant when we shot. Where we shot was actually my parents' restaurant. And so it was just a lot of questioning, those parts in my life and my friend's life that I've observed. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, let's talk about the cast. I just felt like there was a lot of chemistry between, Haven and Emy. We also have Paulo Montalban, which I was blown away because I remember him in Cinderella back in the day with Brandy. So I was like, wow. Can you tell us how the cast came together?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's all kind of funny. When I first started casting, I was actually looking for an older Christine and an older Mary. And we really couldn't find the right people in that age range. And a friend of mine texted me one day and was like, hey, just want to let you know, my great friend Emy Coligado is amazing. She's Filipino. She's so well nurtured. She's such a mother. She cares about a lot of people. I just wanted to, put her on your radar. And I immediately went to my casting director and I was like, hey, do we have something from Emy Coligado? And she was like, we do, but you know what? Yeah. Oh, I mean, I didn't tell you the story. Okay, yeah. So my casting director said, oh, yeah, we did get something from her, but we didn't send you her video because she's not in the age range you wanted. And I was like, send it to me, send it. And that's when I saw Emy and I was like, oh my God, that's Mary. And so casting Emy actually informed me that I needed to get a younger Christine, aka Haven Everly, and I needed to get a younger Tita Tony. And I didn't think about Paolo really because he wasn't in that right age range. And of course, when I wrote it, I actually wanted him to play it. I was like, I really want Paolo Montalban to play this, but it didn't occur to me that I could get him because I wasn't even thinking about his age because I wanted someone older. And that's kind of just how the casting process started. But once Emy solidified that age range for us, it was like, okay, now we know what we need to get. And Haven just came out of nowhere, blew my face off, honestly. Like I knew it was her. I knew it was her when I saw her tape, and when I met her in person, I was like, yes. And then she kind of ran away after she auditioned, she was like, okay, thanks, bye, And I was like, okay, bye, And then Paolo came in, and it was just like, it was a magical moment for me to like be able to have Paolo in the room, and I wrote it with him in mind, so I kind of already knew that I was going to cast him. But for the fact that he went to audition for me was such an honor. Yeah.
Well, the amazing job on the casting. It sounds like things just kind of happened organically, starting with Emy, and then things just kind of fell into place there. So, I actually have a question for Haven. First of all, congratulations on a great performance. I understand that this was your first lead role, and I also read that you come from quite a musical family. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So my mom, she was signed in the Philippines. Her name was Lily Morena, and she was hit it big. She was, under a management team, but then it was down to either the dream of her, of music or the American dream. And of course, at that time, the American dream was way more appealing for the future generations, for us and her kids, her grandkids. And so she decided to leave that all behind. So she was the girl who left home, essentially. And then my dad, who was an aspired singer here in the United States, they're both Filipino. And my dad, he had sort of ego because he held auditions in my uncle's garage to find like a wedding singer woman. And my mom auditioned, and he was like, I think you're pretty good. A few months later, they get married and have kids. So, but then, so growing up, my dad and mom had a DJ business. And so I've been to over 50 weddings in my life, just singing and performing with them. And so it was really cool to be auditioning for Mallorie because in the script, I grew up singing with two of my best friends, Amy and Megan, and that was pretty much like how I grew up with my sisters. We grew up singing in these weddings and festivals as a trio, a singing group. So I felt so connected in that way. And then the fact that Emy Coligado, her character, Mary, used to be a singer in the Philippines. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so creepy and so amazing at the same time. I felt so connected, and I was like, I bawled. I bawled after reading the script, and so I felt so moved by it. I wanted to be a part of it just any way I can. So.
That's amazing. Well, I'm a DJ myself, so I want to hit up your parents, and maybe we can all like talk shop, So so congratulations on this first role. And can you tell us a little bit about how that process is like to the audience about auditioning, and then landing this lead role? I mean, that must have been just so exciting for you.
Yeah, I was flabbergasted. I think when my former manager at the time sent me the audition, he emailed me and was like, so there's this role that was made for you. And of course, me being so naive, I was like, what? There was a role? Who knows me? That's kind of weird. But then, and then I read it, and I, like I said, I was so moved by it. And I told him, I was like, if I don't book the lead, I want to be the busser. I want to be the one driving the car, you know, like anyone, because it was a Filipino American story. It had singing in it. And I was like, it was one of my dreams of dreams to be like, I want to be in a musical film where I'm singing. So if I'm in it, then I'm happy. I could check that, you know, in my bucket list. So, and so the process is, I mean, it's like takes a while. So it's not just one audition and you book it. It's one audition, one callback, you know, it's a self-tape, an audition, and then you're in front of the director, Mallorie, and then the casting director. And at that time, I was still hustling. I didn't really book a big thing yet. And so I remember walking around the building with so much anxiety. Like, because when you go into the room, you see so many girls that look like you, that can sing just as good, that are just as talented. And so you're like, whoa, how are they going to even notice me? So I had to step out of the room and I had to walk and do like my little prayer. And then I went in and I gave it my all. And then just like Mallorie said, it was a fight or flight moment, and I was like, okay, I did it, and I was like, okay, bye, thank you, and I just jetted off. I ran out of the room, and I was like, in my mind, I kept replaying. I was like, I didn't get it. I just ruined it. That last second, you know, like bad thoughts. I was like, she probably thinks I just left. I don't care. And then I didn't hear back for a long time, and then finally, I got the call that I booked it, and I was in disbelief. And it was just funny when I actually met Mallorie in person. I was like, yeah, like maybe, you know, I think I ran off, but I don't know if that's just my mind playing tricks on me. She was like, oh no, yeah, you literally just ran out of the room.
That's so funny. That's hilarious. Well, congrats on landing that role. And it obviously, watching the film, it just felt like the role was tailor-made for you. So great job. So I want to move on to Emy Coligado. Just reading a little bit about your career and, your resume dating back to the early 2000s with roles in Malcolm in the Middle, Grey's Anatomy, Fresh Off the Boat, just to name a few. I mean, looking back at that time, like, I'd have to say it was rare to see Asian faces, let alone Filipino American faces on the screen. Like, what was it like back then to be a Filipino American actor in Hollywood?
I mean, I'm glad there's, I wish I could say that there's been a lot more, today. I think there is more, but I really am hoping that more Southeast Asians are seen on the screen, and I think it's starting to happen. But that, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like, I just feel like there's so much room for us. And I'm so glad that Mallorie wrote this. It means so much that our stories are told.
Okay, there we go.
And once you become a Filipino, whether you like it or not.
Right.
So.
Well, I just want to give you props. You're truly a Filipino American pioneer, and we're so happy to have you.
Oh.
One of my favorite scenes was, and Mallorie kind of touched on it, was the scene when Haven and you, Mary, took a break from mourning and then hit the bar and sang a song. Can you both tell me about that scene, because it just felt so natural? Like, how many takes was that?
I don't know how many takes. I don't remember, but Haven helped me with that song because I got it and I was like, oh man, I'm so straight when I sing. Like, I'm more musical theater or classically trained, and like embellishing, that's just not my thing. So Haven and I actually just met at the reading, and we had a couple of weeks before we started, but we hit it off, and I was like, hey, could you help me with my song? Because I just sound too, like, I don't sound like I'm your mom. I got to sound like I'm your mom. So she actually helped me with that song.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It was so much fun getting to see her live in action. It was all, like, for me, it was all genuine feelings. So like you said, Emy is such a pioneer. So just getting to see her and her perform and her in her comfort zone was just so amazing. It's such an honor.
Very cool.
I will say too, like, when writing that, I didn't know Emy could sing because, I watched her on Malcolm in the Middle and I loved her. And when she sent her audition tape, like, it just like kind of blew me away. And after that moment, I was like, I need a song for the audience to be blown away. And she did such a great job. And every time I'm in a room with new people watching that scene, everyone is like, "Oh my God, is that her?" I'm like, "Yeah, that is her voice, 100%." So yeah, they both did
That's
such
it
a
from
great
Haven
job.
and Release Studio Voice.
Nice. Well, you both sounded great in that scene, so great job. Okay, now I want to talk to Angelo. You play Reggie. You're also a producer. Now, can you tell us how you got introduced to this project, and maybe give the audience a little insight on what your role as a producer
Mallorie,
is like?
Mallorie knows where I'm going with this. So I like to tell the story of how Mallorie and I met, where both of us had a short film in competition in LA in a film festival, and I was pretty confident I was going to win until a little short film called Mango Sticky Rice beat my film. So that is actually how I discovered Mallorie's name. So when I learned that, it was like, oh, Mallorie Ortega, oh, she's Filipino. I was like, oh, and then I became interested and intrigued. But then I didn't meet Mallorie until probably 2 years later, when the film came to New York, and I finally was able to watch the film. And I stalked Mallorie at the Asian American International Film Festival opening party. I think I scared her.
Yeah, you were like, "Are you Mallorie Ortega?" And I was like, "How do you know who I am?" I don't know who you are.
But then, so after that, I watched her film. I love Mango Sticky Rice, and I watched it recently actually too. I fell in love with the music again. And then I don't know. I think when I went to LA for a wedding, I just hooked up with Mallorie, and we just started talking. And I knew she had this film in her mind, but I thought at the time I met her, it was already done, or she already filmed it. But at the time, it wasn't. So then that's when I asked her for the script, and then so she sent me the script, and I liked it. I did have some notes, and I think what brought me really in was that Mallorie was very open, and she took my notes, and I was like, okay, I think I could work with her. She's that open, So, and then from there, it started off. I started as sort of as an associate producer, production manager, and kind of made my way up to the producer. And the role of Reggie just kind of, I was a producer, put me in the movie.
Yeah, okay. One less person to cast, sure.
Nice. Well, wow. Well, this has been an amazing conversation, and I can't believe it. We're already down to our last question. I want to give, we're going to take a question from the audience. So this one is from Cam, from our Cam intern, Jeremy. So this one's back to Mallorie. Were there any musicals, musicians, or films that helped inspire the tone and sound of the music?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Pasek and Paul are like my heartthrobs of musicals right now. They did La La Land, Dear Evan Hansen, and of course, The Greatest Showman. And so I would definitely say they are such a huge influence on me, as well as, them as far as the style of the music. Lin-Manuel Miranda is for like that drive, and he's a freaking brilliant lyricist, and keeping in mind of the way that he rhymes and slight rhymes. I think that was very important to me and my co-lyricist Steve Grease. Yeah, I think, and visually, it would have to be John Carney, the director of Once and Sing Street. Once is like one of my favorite natural musicals, and once I saw his film, and his music is just so heartwarming, and the story itself really impacted me, just how simple one person's relationship can be with another person. I really wanted to keep that simplicity within the mom and daughter of the girl who left home, and yeah, all those things together, it just is the girl who left home.
Amazing. Well, I just want to congratulate everybody here who was involved with this project. I really enjoyed the film. I think our audiences are gonna, feel the same way. And I wish you all like the best of luck as you tour this film around. And I'm excited to see where it goes. Sadly, we are out of time. I just want to thank you all once again for your time and for being part of CAAMFest Forward. I also want to give one more opportunity to all y'all. If you have any projects you want to plug, any upcoming projects or films that we should look out for, please let us know.
I think Emy should kick it off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Emily.
Let's go, Emy.
I have a film on Amazon right now called First One In. It's a comedy. And then The Catch, which is a drama, which is going to be at the Austin Film Festival mid-October, October 22nd. And I'm going to vote November 2nd.
Yes.
Yes.
Right on.
Actually, I'm
Anybody
going to
else?
mail my ballot. But
I also
Steven?
have to absentee ballot mine also.
For me, just follow me on social media. I'll be releasing some new music I've been working on for a while now. So follow me on my Instagram, Haven_Everly, and you'll get more information on that.
Oh wait,
Great.
actually, I forgot I have a plug. My short
Hey.
film, that Lost to Mallory's film, will be playing. It'll be playing as part of the in New Jersey, Hudson County Pride. They're having a small little showcase at the end of the month, so it'll be there.
Awesome. And as for The Girl Who Left Home, we will continue our festival circuit in November, December. So follow at Girl Who Left Home on Instagram and Facebook. And in maybe 2 years, you will see this movie become a staged show. So continue to follow us and you'll see when that happens. Maybe with the
Very
people in this
exciting.
room.
Awesome.
let's hope
Well, very
the pandemic
exciting.
is over by then.
Right on, everybody. Thank you all once again for joining us at CAAMFest Forward. Now, if you enjoyed what you saw and want to support CAAM and our future programs, please consider joining as a member or make a donation. And please click the link above the player for more information. Thank you again, and please enjoy the rest of the festival. Take care, everyone.